Friday, Ranger Nation. It is Friday, so that means a brand new Ranger Week in Review. We take everything that has happened this week in the world of Power Rangers and all forms of Power Rangers, put it in a nice little package for you. We have got some monster stuff coming up from Legacy Wars, from the comics, from Hyperforce. I swear, they're all trying to kill me, guys. They're all trying to kill me. And new episodes of the show as well, so stay tuned, guys, because the Ranger Week in Review, it starts right now. Hey guys, my name is Liz. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Friday, beautiful day. Spring is right around the corner. I can feel it. Although that unfortunately means that spring is around the corner, our summer hiatus will be starting very shortly. In fact, we only have one more new episode before the summer hiatus, and I will talk about that briefly after talking about where we normally start. That is brand new episodes of Super Ninja Steel. Sarah finds herself trying to break the hoverboard record. I think I mentioned last week, I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently it is, and apparently the super smart girl had not broken the record yet. There's Victor, Monty, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. When Victor, beat her, but it ends up being a dummy, like a crash test dummy, like an actual dummy. So when it comes to find out that that was actually the thing that broke the record, why at the ending they're like, oh, I guess you can try for it again? Like, why would she have to try it again? She was right behind Victor, and they were like, you beat it by 10 seconds. Like, you mean nobody recorded her thing? Like, have you ever seen the Olympics? People get knocked out for disqualifications off the podium a lot. It's not a new thing. But then at the end, Sarah was like, no, I'm gonna play with my friends instead. I'm like, that wasn't even the moral of the story. Maybe I missed the moral of the story. I don't know. I do like Victor whenever he's being ousted as a cheater, though. Speedwing was the one. They got rid of him. Sarah took the Speedwing star, the Speed Star, Evil Ninja Star. So she took it, put it on her hoverboard, then she beat the record, but then she was all like, no, I can't do it because it wasn't illegal, but it wasn't right. So she gave the trophy back to Victor, and then they realized that Victor was cheating, and it should have just went back to her, but whatever. At this point, neither of you deserve it, so no. At least Mick got some good, he got some good wisdom to impart to Sarah, so I did like that. Zord was boom, boom, done, nothing too fancy about it. Next week, however, is going to be called Caught Red-Handed. We learned from the description, thanks to Power Rangers, the Rangers go on a school camping trip, but a surprise visit from a monster forces them to morph. Watch the sneak peek episode for episode 8, Caught Red-Handed. Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, so thanks, that was on Power Rangers official YouTube page. We did get to see on, from Nickelodeon, they had another clip. It looks like while they're fighting this guy again, like his first one, he rolls a dice and then he like hits him with a steam kettle blast, and they really, I think, oversold that attack. We shall find out. I don't even remember at this point. Brody is being accused of stealing something, and so he's going to be in detention to save his integrity, because no camping trip with his friends is worth more than his integrity. Honestly, if the dude's cooped up in space for 10 years, your name's pretty much all you have, so I'll let that one slide. Go Brody. Go Brody. Hey, speaking of Brody, if you'd like to vote for him, William Schloof, that I never can say his name right, he is being nominated for a Kids' Choice Award along with Super Ninja Steel. Check out the links below if you would like to give them a vote. I'm excited. I might actually, this is weird, I might actually watch the Kids' Choice Awards, like, if we know Rangers are going. I will watch the orange carpet, because whether or not they win, it is pretty cool to see the franchise that you love being nominated for something that I watched. I mean, come on, like, we all watched the Kids' Choice Awards growing up. Like, people being slimed, orange blims. It's cool watching something still get nominated for that. So if you'd like to help them out, go give them some love. Check out the links below, or just nick.com, any of their apps. They'll get you taken care of. Renegade Game Studios, Saban brands are partnering to create Sabans, do not leave the Saban brand out. Hey Sabans, if you're watching, hey guys, hey. So it's Saban's Power Rangers tabletop game. Okay. If they're partnering, I don't know, are they going to be partnering? Because I really want Hyperforce as a tabletop game, but tabletop games are so broad. They can make a completely different, amazing tabletop game. Guys, we could have two. It makes me so happy. Inspired by the iconic, not Icon from K-pop, although they're very good, iconic. And I already forgot where I was going with this. Blah, blah. They're excited to make some Power Ranger swag, and I'm sure Saban Brands is like, yes, yes. Get on this tabletop craze. Man, so I have some sad news. And this is... Look, you may have seen this. It's going around all over, but it is official. Toys R Us is going out of business. Liquidations. I don't have the exact numbers. Things are still kind of going, but... You know, Thursday is probably the first day. You might start seeing sales on everything. I mean, if you're looking for shelves for your basement, if you're looking for some glass display cases, or hey, maybe that bike for your kid in 4 years that they might grow into. It's a sad... I'm just trying to be optimistic, but it just sucks in so many ways. I hate it. I hate the fact I'm not going to be able to take my daughter to Toys R Us to celebrate something. And that, she's been there a handful of times. She's almost 1.5, so she's been there a handful of times, but not enough. So that's really crappy news. Check out the links below if you'd like to see more further the actual statements from Toys R Us. And yeah, people are paying their condolences, RIP Toys R Us. So if you'd like to check the hashtag, there are a lot of really sad people. Hey, if I was smart, I would have led the tabletop games into the other tabletop game, Hyperforce, but I didn't. So hey, anyway, let's just go to Hyperforce. Man, it was another like 20-minute review for this one. Guys, Shattered Grid? Anyone? I'm so excited. So excited for the Shattered Grid. You have time to get caught up. Next week, and I'll just cut to the chase of all of it if you just want to, like, you know, if you're only interested in the beginning part of this. Jason David Frank will be back to Hyperforce next week. You know who else is going to be back? Malika sitting at the table. Zach is going to be Jason David Frank is going to be there, and he's going to be Tommy, but he's not going to be, like, you know, like, Tommy! He's going to be the bad version of this. Now, I don't have a figure of it, but he's gonna be Lord Drakkon. I get it, he's already been on it once. I know some people were like, oh, not him again. But he's gonna be Lord Drakkon. And in a weird way, he's playing two completely different characters, because the first time he was there, he was doing Dr. Oliver, who's also having a good day, so stay tuned to Legacy Wars. He played Dr. Oliver when he was Dino Thunder. I wonder if that caused an interest in him. Anyway, are we... Probably not. Probably not. But he played that character, but now he's gonna be Tommy, the evil Tommy, the one that was, you know, like, I'm evil, I'm gonna kill you guys. Except after the spell broke, he decided he still wants to be evil and kill those guys. You have to love a man that sticks with his goals. You know, he's a real go-getter, and I appreciate that, or something to that effect. Okay, so, are we still talking about comics, or are we talking about Hyperforce? I think we're kind of talking about both. Kyle Higgins and Malika were on the table to be in the show. My goodness gracious, he was Pumpkin Rapper. Kyle Higgins managed to be Pumpkin Rapper. There's a thing that he managed to do it. Congrats. I can't believe he managed to be Pumpkin Rapper, but he was. It was a really action plot heavy. If you were interested at all in the comics of Shattered Grid, it could definitely get you in the comics. And likewise, if you're a comics fan and you've heard me ramble about Hyperforce and you've never given it a shot, just try it. Just watch this episode, because maybe even if you don't get super into it or whatever, between this last episode and the new episode that's going to be happening on Tuesday, you can get more story about what's going on in the Shattered Grid. It's when, like, some of your favorite things are bleeding into each other, I do a little happy dance. More than, hey, look at that. I'm moving up in the world, guys, with my notes. I got a pop socket now. Totally not 5 years behind on everything. I call my Hyperforce review Rapper's Delight. There was rapping going on because he's pumpkin rapper. Man, he's pumpkin rapper, so he had to rap. There was actually casualties in the episode, which was definitely first, because even earlier in the show, they were like, oh, it's cauterizing wounds, you know, yes, he got shot through the neck, but he clearly survives and is just fine. He's unconscious. And Kyle Higgins, I am not kidding you, like, killed. Like, his pumpkin wrapper blew up, and I think he, what was it, like 14 people? Or more? It was, a hush fell over Hyperforce when that one, but I'll tell you, it was just overall a great one. They were back in New Tech City, but in the Shattered Grid world. Malika got to be Detective Song, except she was on the actual, like, table, but she wasn't the same Detective Song, she was a different one. Look, there's gonna be wibbly wobbly timey wimey when we're talking about the Shattered Grid, because it's amazeballs, and the next episode is happening on Tuesday, and guess what, like, the Wednesday after that is issue 25, where Shattered Grid officially picks up. I am ridiculously excited. So, Shattered Grid, can we just change this actually over to comics now? We're learning a lot about comics and Shattered Grid through Hyperforce, but we did get some awesome things thanks to Power Rangers Now. Gave us the hookup on these. We got some covers for June's Go-Go Power Rangers 10 and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 28. They're pretty cool. We got something, and this is kind of more of the take on this. So remember when they were like, hey, we're introducing a new Ranger. Sweet. And I was all up for, I'm pretty sure I've told you guys in theory, but I'm pretty sure it was Kimberly. And she's going to be the Resistance leader and whatever to go against Lord Drakkon. Oh, we were wrong. She's gonna be evil. We're doomed. We're all Rangers are doomed. We're all gonna die. I'm guessing this is Ranger Slayer, and Ranger Slayer's identity is unknown, clearly. But they'll debut a brand new Zord, which someone, you know, has already gotten to Legacy Wars, and like Legacy Wars is retweeted. It's the Zord sports a hybrid-like design consisting of several iconic Mighty Morphin Zords, including Tiger Zord, Red Ranger's Dragon Zord, oh yeah, and Tour the Shuttle Zord. A lot of other things as well. So again, thanks to Power Rangers Now. Here's the thing. So I mentioned my theory before about how I thought it was Kim and how I thought she was gonna be, you know what? I'm still rolling with it. I think it's still gonna be Kim. Back into Legacy Wars, which I mentioned before a few other times about Dino Thunder Black. They have had some crazy things happening this week, okay? They have launched so many new things. If you have not checked out Legacy Wars recently, now is the time to do it, because they have just launched to version 2.0, which has a lot of new features. So check this out. They added draft battles and stream view. Now, if you're like, I don't know what that is, you can pick, you can draft like you versus another person, you can draft your teams, you can battle each other, and make tournaments. And with stream view, you can have one person who's seeing both like moves, because you know there's like your moves and then their moves, but you can't see their moves. Well, guess what, if you're watching it on a stream, because I mean it has to be delayed because that's how science works, if you're watching it that way, you still couldn't tell them what it is. So it's a really awesome stream view, and this is setting up tournaments, which, oh my goodness, guys, there's so many tournaments that happen immediately were announced. Good luck if you got into any of them. I'm excited to see how they go. Then they come out and they tell us about Score Attack tournaments. It's going to be a new form of challenge where basically you get points based on how much damage you do and how much damage you take and, you know, whatnot. The new character reveal is Dino Thunder Black, Mr. Jason David Frank as Dr. Tommy Oliver. Then they go out and they announce Champions Leagues. I can definitely not get into Champions Leagues yet. So what is Champions Leagues? You ask, not like the Champions League, because I'm pretty sure that is definitely trademarked. This is the Champion Leagues. And this is going to be a way for them to help out that giant cluster that happens after a season. And it's going to be able to put people, like, let's say you can get in the Bronze League if you have 4,300 medals. If you have 4,600 medals, you can get in the Silver League. And when it resets, you're going to stay at 4,600. So basically, like, here's the last one. Elite, all right? Required medals, top 200 players who are 5,200 plus. So it's not just if you're 5,200 plus, you have to be one of the top 200 players. That, and then when it resets, it goes only down to 4,900. With the Elite League and with the streaming, it's screaming esports, guys. It really is. It's getting bigger. If you're excited at all about it, please take a look at this. They're doing awesome things. And then the last is this. I can't believe this is actually going to be the last one. And I'm not going to go through all the details of it, so I'm going to put that away. Balance changes. Balance changes are on their way, or actually have happened already. They told us about them back in, what was it, like December? Maybe December or January. They were already telling us, yes, we know we're going to do balance changes. We're still working on them. And all that being said, it's a really long Legacy War segment because they have a lot of stuff going on. Well, that just moves us on to Fan Corner. Fan Corner. Podcasts are just springing up left and right. It's crazy. It's amazing. There are so many of them now that this is going to be a little tough to keep track and to make sure I give everyone all of their credit. So potentially, I don't know, maybe I'm going to work on like a link to shoot out that just opens 16 tabs of podcasts, but there's a lot of them. Here's just a few. Legion of Boom put one out, The Grid put one out, Ranger for My Power Hour put one out, and that one was with Sapphire Steffi, or Steffi from Sapphire Management. It is a really cool interview, get to know as a Ranger Nation Spotlight, because this is someone who sees some of the Ranger stuff from a completely different point of view. She's a booking agent for quite a few Rangers, and hearing things from her point of view was really cool. So if you're interested on like the back end kind of stuff, go give it some love. Alright, and that brings us to our Fan Corner Friday special shout out Fan of the Week, and this one goes to the Ranger Danger podcast. It's a podcast I fully admit, I'm sorry, it just wasn't really on my radar, and once I saw them and saw their amazing content, I was like, okay, this is cool, I'm in. So this is kind of my way of saying, hey, I hadn't really given you any shout outs before, but they have a Boom Studios podcast that happens with Kyle Higgins after every issue. So if you are interested in the comics and you did not know this existed because maybe you're not a fan of podcasts, or why not a fan of podcasts, why did you find them? If you're a fan of the comics, they have a really cool show for you that please take a look at it. And if you're not a fan of the comics and you're just a fan of everything else in general, they have a podcast about that as well. So thank you to the Ranger Danger podcast. You guys are putting out some really great work, and also the creators of it are going to be able to do a short in the Power Rangers anniversary special. I mentioned it last week, the week before. It's going to have apparently a lot of just one-shots, I guess you could say, and they're doing one. These guys in the podcast are putting an official Power Rangers comic book together. That is really cool. Check out the links below. Shout out to you, Ranger Danger Podcast. And that is about gonna wrap it up. This week, if you'd like to hear further explanations of things, I did thing on a bunch of Legacy Wars news. I did Ranger News Brief talking about some Shattered Grid and Hyperforce news. I did the Hyperforce chat. And yesterday I premiered a brand new show type of just a 2-minute talk. I guess I just have random Ranger stories and random Ranger things that I want to talk out, and you can't fit them in all of these shows. So this 2-minute series is just going to be, can be Power Rangers. If you have a suggestion for something you would like to see, let me know. The first one I went off about though, and I'll go off, it's not like a bad thing, it's just the first thing I talked about was the 2017 Power Rangers movie, Morpher. Yeah, so if you are interested in hearing any of that, it's only 2 minutes long, so I'd appreciate it if you gave it a shot. Follow me on any of social medias, yeah, at GoKaiRanger if you want my day-to-day life, including pictures of my food and cat, and at Ranger WI Review if you just says, Liz, no, I just want the news. I just want the news. I don't blame you. Why would I blame you? Oh yeah, I should wrap this up. My name is Ranger Liz. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have had a blast hanging out with you today. Have a fantastic weekend.